Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, just Hosey Ferrer there, throwing a paddy, throwing his head about. Welcome to Magnificent Mondays, episode number 68. Yes, episode number 68. This week we're doing Dune from 1984, not the new ones. Not the new ones from Denis Villeneuve, which are good films, but I do prefer this one. I think this is an amazing film, bonkers, sometimes rubbish, sometimes genius. But that's what we're doing today. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we're live on YouTube. I'll just double check. I did earlier, but yes, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble, and we're live on Twitch. Huzzah! And we've got Josh Temple in the chat who agrees with this. Is still thinks this is my favourite Dune so far, and I agree. I agree too. Wingrace thought I were doing Star Trek the Motion Picture today. That's next week. We just had the anniversary for it, haven't we, a couple of days ago. But I thought I'll do it next week. I thought about changing them round, but decided against it. Right, so we're live on those. Explore the description for links for various stuff, such as merch, such as t-shirts like that. What else? Patreon, other stuff. I can't remember. I'm blanking. Websites, me books. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in the North Yorkshire village. A Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. They're on Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. Right. Right, Dune from 1984, directed by David Lynch. Although the version we're looking at today is the extended version, which is directed by Alan Smithy, because that's David Lynch didn't want his name associated with the extended version. He didn't have a good time on this film, and he doesn't like talking about it to this day. Don't know why. I think it's a perfectly decent film. Anyway, based on the 1965 novel Hefty Tome by Frank Herbert, which I've read. It's the only one of the Dune books I've read. I've got the first three. Dune, is it Dune Messiah, then Children of Dune? I think it is that way around, isn't it? I've not read the other two, but I've read the first one a long time ago, probably like 40 years ago, something like that. So I can't remember much about it, to be honest. So it's based on that. Stars in an alphabetical order: Francesca Annis, Leonardo Cimino, Brad Dourif, Hosey Ferrer. That's how I pronounce it. Linda Hunt, Freddie Jones, Richard Jordan, Kyle MacLachlan as the star, Virginia Madsen, Silvana Mangano, who plays the Reverend Mother on Arrakis, Everett McGill, Muad'Dib, that's how he says it. We'll get to that. Kenneth McMillan, Jack Nance, Sian Phillips, Jurgen Prochnow, Paul Smith, Patrick Stewart, Sting, Dean Stockwell, Max von Sydow, Alicia Rowan Witt, and Sean Young. And the cast of thousands, literally. And music by Toto and Brian Eno. Who were they with? They were with somebody, weren't they? Somebody famous, and I can't remember who. It won't be Toto, was it? Hang on, let me check. Oh, Roxy Music. There we go. That's who we were with, Roxy Music. Brian Eno. Right, so, by the way, also it had a pretty hefty budget for the time, 1984, of $42 million. It didn't do well at the box office, unfortunately. But never mind. And it got panned by the critics. But it kind of became a cult film, sort of. And a lot of people, still like it, and it's still out, available to this day. I've got the 4K there. I've got the 4K Blu-ray. Pardon me. I wish I had the German version, which has the Spice Diver edit on, but never mind. I haven't. I've just got the regular one. Right, so we'll get on with it, shall we? Have I forgot anything else? Become a member. I forgot to mention earlier on. Become a member, and then you can join in the chat. Over there, or down there, or whatever the chat's appearing on your screen. There we go. I'm still doing, for most of the time, for like this and Magnificent Mondays and Appointment with Fear, I'm doing members-only chats. So anyway, Just says, "Oh no, not the critics. They are never wrong." Sarcasm there from Josh. I know. What do the critics know? Nothing. Right. So let's get on with this film, shall we? I will have to do something first. And where are we? There it is. Get rid of that. Pop myself down in the corner. That one? Yes. And we'll add this baby to the screen. And the cat is starting. I knew she would. I bloody knew she would. She wants. As soon as I open my mouth, she wants to go out. Is that telling me something? Right, just bear with me. I've got to see to the cat. Want to go out? Come on then. I'm back. She's gone out. Right, so off we go. Add to stage. Right, we're off. Obviously, we'll not just be watching the film. I've got to say this because people still get. Occasionally, somebody says in the comments, "Why don't you just watch the film?" Because it's YouTube, we're not allowed to. If we're on Patreon or whatever, I think all bets are off for Patreon for some reason, but we're not. Right. Anyway. Watching a series of stills, may play the odd snippet and all that stuff. Probably still get a copyright claim, but anyway, right, we're off. As I said, this is the extended version, which has a lengthy monologue at the beginning, not by Virginia Madsen, which is in the theatrical version, by some other bloke. I don't know who voices it, some fella. Against what appear to be, I don't know if it says on Wikipedia that the concept art. But I don't think the concept art, because unless they knew they had Jose Ferrer in as the Padishah Emperor, because some of the artwork definitely shows him as the Emperor. But anyway, off we go. So there we go, the Universal logo. By the way, I want to point something out on this Universal logo. Right, here we go. There's America and there's South America. What's happened to Australia and New Zealand? Let's go around this slowly. I noticed it. What's happened to Australia? Australia's not that shape. Is this Earth? Don't know. But Australia's a weird shape there, isn't that? Anyway, whatever. I just noticed it. So it's not a very good representation of the Earth, is it? But still my favourite movie, studio ident, though, is that one. That particular one. The MCA company version of Universal. I don't know why, I just think it looks cool, despite Australia looking odd. Right, we're off. There we go. A Alan Smithy film, not an Alan Smithy film, a Alan Smithy film, produced by Dino De Laurentiis and I think it's his daughter Raffaella De Laurentiis, who were very hands-on in the production. Right, we begin. And they've got the cool music. We'll probably skip past the. Oh, there we go. The Prophecy theme by Brian Eno. We'll have a little listen, but I can't do much. Pretty epic, isn't it? Pretty epic, I must admit. So we're seeing the Sands of Arrakis. There you go, Prophecy theme by Brian Eno. Tell you did all that. Screenplay by Judas Booth, which is another name for David Lynch. As I said, he didn't want his name on this version of it. There you go, directed by Alan Smithy. They don't do Alan Smithy anymore, do they? Which is a shame. Right, prologue. Here we go. Production stills coming up. There we go. Not production, that's what I'm talking about. Concept art, or just artwork in general. I don't think the concept art. I think it's just artwork that maybe were done specifically for this. I don't know, but anyway. So we get some fella coming on telling us all about the history of the Imperium, I suppose you'd call it. There's planet Gidi Prime. I don't know what planet this is supposed to be, but it's got a Borg transwarp hub there, hasn't it? It looks like one anyway. But we're learning all in the year 6000. I've never understood the calendar. Well, I have. until Dune Prophecy started. In the film, Virginia Madsen tells us it's the year 10,191, which is fair enough. In this, it tells us it's the year 10,192. Whatever. What's a year? This first part is talking about how in the year 6,000, I think 6,042, I think it says, there's like the Butlerian Jihad begins. They don't mention it by name in this voiceover. But I've always wondered about the since Dune Prophecy started, because Dune Prophecy, which I'm enjoying, it's on HBO Max and Sky Atlantic and Now TV in the UK, which I'm enjoying for the most part. I don't like in it, spoilers if you've not watched it, that they've kind of made the Atreides the bad guys and the Harkonnens the good guys. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? That modern writers always seem to do. They always seem to sympathise with the bad guys for some reason. But anyway, in that, it says that is set 10,000 years before Paul Atreides is born. I thought, well, how can that be if it's set in the year 10,191? And I've always just assumed it were in our calendar. So, 10,191, what in our calendar, as in now we're in 2024, so it's like 8,000 years in the future. That's what I always presumed. Hang on. Josh Temple says, what? Modern shows make bad guys good guys and good guys bad? I'm shocked. He's been very sarcastic tonight, isn't he? Josh. But they always do it, don't they? They always seem to want to sympathise with the bad guys in modern writing. And I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why. Because it beggars belief. Anyway. Yeah, the calendar. So I'm not sure. If it's 10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides, that is in the year I don't know. It's not the year 191, but say it's 10,000 years before the events of Dune. That's in the year 191, when the Roman Empire is at its height. So I don't know. Unless the humans of Dune are not from Earth. That could be argued, maybe. I don't know. But anyway. As I said, it might mention it in the book. I don't know. But it's a long time since I've read it, so I can't remember. Anyway, that's by the by. I'm waffling. Winggrass said, everyone is just good, but the system crushed them. Yes. Anyway, back to the film. Back to the voiceover. So we learn about essentially the humans of the Empire, I suppose you could call it, kind of became lazy. The machines looked after them. There we go. The machines did everything. It's kind of like Caprica, isn't it? And the Cylons and stuff. But then other humans used their machines to enslave people. There we go. And they began a religious crusade. Why they're saying religious, don't know. But they use the word jihad. And it's obviously the people of Arrakis are, there's no two ways about it. They're based on, Islam, into, all their stuff, because they mentioned jihad and all that stuff. But anyway. Dune started from zero at the advent of interstellar travel. Is that right? Is that true? Advent, yeah. Would it start at zero? Would it start at 1? Because generally we don't have a year 0, do we? Generally, in calendars, it's usually the first year is 1. But anyway, whatever. Right, fair enough. Because they did have interstellar travel before spice, before Arrakis were found, and the spice melange allowed for the space guild navigators to basically navigate through space, because they had engines, didn't they? I forgot what they call them now. They've got a name for them, but the engines folded space, and it was pretty hit and miss, wasn't it, before the guild navigators came along. It was quite dangerous, wasn't it? But anyway, that's by the by. Anyway, so the jihad, there we go, against the machines. So anyway, thinking machines were banned, so it's what it's saying, after the Great Revolt. Thinking machines were banned, and humans had to start using their minds. And that's when the mentats came along, and they talk about two schools or mental training schools were established, and by the time we get to 10,192, it says here, two schools remain. There's the Bene Gesserit. Oh, there we go. The Bene Gesserit with Kaitan in the background, which are primarily, females, the sisterhood and all that, who we see in Dune Prophecy. And the Spacing Guild. I thought they were going to talk about the Mentats. I thought they were Mentats, but they don't. They talk about the Spacing Guild. There you go. Who use mathematics and all that stuff, and also the spice melange to expand their minds, because it's all about drugs. Anyway, there you go. And there's a guild navigator, mutated because of the vast quantities of spice, pardon me, that they consume. I wonder what it tastes like. It's got a distinctive taste, apparently, because it's mentioned in the film. So, anyway, right. So, there's Jose Ferrer. Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it Jose Ferrer? I don't know how you pronounce it, but Jose Ferrer as the Emperor Padishah. The Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV. He rules on Kaitan. There it is. There's Kai. Lovely ringed planet painting. And there's Duke Leto Atreides of planet Caladan. The good Duke Leto, played by Jürgen Prochnow. The evil Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. It's pronounced Harkonnen in this film. And I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, because in the special features on this, when they're the making of and all that, they say that Frank Herbert was on set telling them how to pronounce things. So I'm guessing it's Harkonnen and not Harkonnen, like in the new films and Dune Prophecy. But anyway, they're on Gidi Prime, which is not a very nice place, and I wouldn't want to live there at all. It's a terrifying world. And then they talk about, I don't know what this planet's supposed to be. Is this supposed to be Arrakis at night? I don't know. But anyway, it's showing a spice harvester. Controlled by the Chom Company. And I think in the book it tells us what Chom stands for, and I can't remember. But that's controlled by the Emperor. It's all politics, and let's say they're all out to get each other. Right. We also learned that the Bene Gesserit were controlling bloodlines through, selective breeding and all that to try and bring about the Kwisatz Haderach, the perfect being, the fifth element. No. But anyway, so right. Anyway, so spice melange, which the Spacing Guild uses to navigate space. They say, I think the version, I don't think it says it on this one, but the version with Virginia Madsen being Princess Irulan doing the voiceover at the beginning, she says without the spice, space travel is impossible, but it's not. It's just really dangerous. But anyway, whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice, because it's only found there. It's created by the sandworms. It's only found there, and whoever controls Arrakis controls the universe and all that stuff. And at the moment, at the beginning of the film, Arrakis is under the rule of the Harkonnens. There's the Beast Rabban, Baron Vladimir, and his two nephews, the Beast Rabban, and him, Sting as Fade Routher. They rule Arrakis with a rod of iron and all that. But the Emperor has decided. We're going to learn that in a minute. But it's going on. Is this? It goes on for ages. But anyway, the Emperor is conspiring with the Harkonnens to get rid of the Atreides because they're super popular, and he thinks they're a threat. But we're going to learn that in a minute. Right, so here we go. A Spacing Guild navigator is heading to Kaitan to see the Emperor, and it's coming into land. Cool effects in this sometimes. And sometimes they're not. Obviously, they're all practical effects because it's long before the advent of CG. So some of the effects are a bit dodgy, and some of them are really, really good. Like I said, this one isn't too bad, to be honest. A big ship. And the production design is amazing. It was filmed in Mexico. I think probably because that worked out cheaper. But they ended up with these big sound stages in Mexico that the production designer says that they went in and there were just these massive empty spaces with just all dust on the floor because they didn't get used very often. So they just could go mad. There's also a lot of forced perspective stuff used. So I imagine this is a model in the foreground. Made to look like a big spaceship. Right, anyway. So here we go. Here come the Spacing Guild navigators in their body bags. What they're wearing here in these suits. Are actually body bags because the production designer got them from an old fire station in America. And they had all these body bags in the back. And some of them were used. They didn't have a body in, but obviously they hadn't been cleaned since they had a body in. And so there was some, how do you put it, juices. I imagine they cleaned them afterwards and turned them into these outfits for the guild navigators. I'm guessing these are, I don't know, these look after the one that we're going to see, but some of them have these weird, I don't know, as though they're starting to transform. I don't know. I'm guessing, are these going to end up looking like the guild navigator that we saw the painting at the beginning? Anyway, so here we are in the throne room of Padishah Emperor IV. It's all very ornate and, doesn't look as though it's in the year 10,000, let's put it that way. It it could be any year, couldn't it? But it looks kind of old-fashioned. But there you go, the walking dogs and stuff. But right, so here we go. Spacing Guild navigators coming. So they've got to clear the room because nobody's allowed to see them for some reason. I don't know. He calls on his Reverend Mother from the Bene Gesserit in a minute. Here she comes, played by Sian Phillips. Who is played, what's her face, in Clash of the Titans? Tethys in Clash of the Titans. Has she been in Harry Potter? I get Sian Phillips mixed up with Maggie Smith a lot, I do. But anyway. So, this is, that's the Bene Gesserit are telepathic, and so I shall want telepathy during his visit. And she said, well, they won't allow her to be in the same room, but she'll do her best from next door. Right, so here he comes. He's sliding in his big container. That's it. And they have a translation device because when he talks, I don't know what he's saying, but he's all like going whack, 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 whack. Here we go.
The Bene Gesserit witch must leave.
Cool, isn't it? So she's got to leave, but she's still listening in with her mind. Anyway, here he comes. He opens up. There's the navigator, designed by Carlo Rambaldi of E.T. What else has he done? The E.T., didn't he? He did the crappy-looking alien at the end of Close Encounters and other stuff. I've forgotten. But here he comes. I'm saying he. This is a human, as I said, that's been mutated by the spice. So this is where we're going to have a bit of exposition about what's going on and what's going to go on. By the way, it's been to Ix. Many machines on Ix, better than those on Riches. I'm not sure what he means by that. Does he mean thinking machines? Are they making a comeback? I don't know. Or is he talking about the Emperor's army that is building up on those planets? I have no idea. I'm sure somebody will tell me any minute now. Anyway, so I was going to tell him that something's happening with Arrakis. They know that plots, wheels within wheels, is going on. And so he tells them what he's going to do. He's going to hand over because Leto Atreides is developing a weapon based on sound, and he thinks he's getting super popular in the Landsraad, which is like the Senate, I suppose. And he says, he could threaten me, so I'm going to give him Arrakis, and he thinks it'll be, that'll make him even more powerful because whoever controls Arrakis controls the universe essentially. But then he's gonna use the Harkonnens to go in and invade Arrakis. Oh, hang on. Invade Arrakis and take out the Atreides, and he's also going to send in 10 legions of his Sardaukar terror troops. But so that's what's going to happen. So they're saying fair enough, and they also say, but there is a problem. Paul Atreides, and he says, oh, don't you mean Duke? Oh, excuse me, choking. Duke Leto Atreides. And he says, no, we mean Paul Atreides. Is going to be dangerous, so he must be killed. So right, so they've got to kill Paul Atreides of the bad guys, and they says, I was never here, and they go back out and they're sweeping up after him. Look, cleaning up after. Right, so saying right, something's going to go on next. So we're going to head to Caladan. I don't know what's happened to his nose. We see him a few times in this film. Maybe he thinks he's Tycho Brahe, the astronomer who lost his nose in a duel. Anyway. Right, so she's going to meet the other sisters, and she says, we have to go to Caladan because of Paul Atreides. She suspects that he may be, the prophecy is unfolding. Right, where are we? I think we're on Arrakis here now. I think these are Harkonnen. Hang on, what's he showing this for? This is from later on in the film, is it? Have they showed the wrong part of the film? Because this is later on in the film. There's Lady Jessica Atreides. I'm sure this is from later on. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they've just used that. Because that's obviously not the Reverend Mother, is it? This is supposed to be the Reverend Mother being ferried to wherever she's going, isn't it? Because we see her there. But obviously they've used a shot from later on in the film. Anyway, so here they are. They're headed to Caladan. And obviously it's a totally different ship now to what we've just seen. Why did they put that in there? Unbelievable. There we go. Planet Caladan, home of House Atreides. And it's very watery. Lots of seas. And there's the castle. Right, so we're going to meet Paul Atreides, played by Kyle MacLachlan. He's doing his homework on the planets in question. There we go, Caladan, 19 light years beyond. What does it say what it's called? Beni Tleilax. The training planet of the Mentats, which are the human computers. We will meet them in a minute. Instead of having actual computers, and thinking machines, they have humans that are super duper advanced in their brains. They can do calculations in their heads, essentially, unlike me. And then he's learning about spice mining and all that stuff. Carryalls drop harvesters onto the sand and lift it off. If a worm attacks the sandworms, which can get really big in the deep desert, the worms attack all rhythmic vibrations, and then we learn it never rains. It never rains on Arrakis. No precipitation. Then he's looking at Gidi Prime, the Harkonnens, the sworn enemies of the Atreides, because according to Dune Prophecy, the series, the Atreides accused the Harkonnens of the cowardice or something like that in the Butlerian Jihad. Towards the end, they accused them of I think it was cowardice, or not doing their part, and it meant that the Harkonnens then were shunned in the Landsraad. And they're trying to clear their name in that series. Anyway. What happened then? What's going on there? That weird, wasn't it? What's this here? What's going on? I have no idea. That's weird. Right, so here we go. Here's the three more characters. There's a young Patrick Stewart. So if you're an Australian breakdancer, are you safe? I forgot her name. Yes, you are. There's Patrick Stewart as what's the matter with me? I'm blanking on his bloody name. Gurney Halleck, that's it. Patrick Stewart as Gurney Halleck with his instrument. There's Dean Stockwell as Dr. Huey with bearing the thing of imperial conditioning, so he can't harm a human being or something. And there's Freddie Jones as Thingamabob. Thufir Hawat, the Mentat. So he's one of these human computers, and they eat the spice as well. And that means that they get red stained lips from eating, the raw spice or something like that. But so that's how you can tell them, right? And they've come in. He's got his back to the door, and there we go, 10,191. Oh, I was listening to Virginia Madsen. You can hear her voice in the background, so it's like watching a tape of her talking. So that's why she's saying that. Right. So, I know I've got my back to the door. I heard you coming down the hall, and Freddie Jones says, "Those sounds could have been imitated." So I'd have known the difference. So anyway, so they're going to do a fighting practice. It says, "I'm not in the mood. The mood is for love play and cattle, not fighting." He's hamming it up like mad, is Patrick Stewart in this. So they activate their personal shields, which I think look amazing. I think, they're stupid looking, but I think they're cool. So here we go. Come on, activate your shield. This cool animated shield, obviously all hand animated. It's not CG or anything like that. I think they look amazing. It must be really hard fighting in them, because that's a really clunky, blocky things. But they're good for deflecting fast blades or fast-moving objects or bullets or, I don't know, laser bolts or whatever. I don't know what they use in this. But the slow blade will pass through the shield, and also the slow bullet, as we'll find out later on. Anyway, so they're doing their practices, practicing with Gurney, and his slow blade passes through the shield. So anyway, so training's over. So I'd given you a good scar to remind you. So anyway, they're getting ready to move to Arrakis. So anyway, so that's what's going to happen next. There's going to do a bit of training now with a fighter, I think. A fighting machine. They're talking about the politics now. They think it's some plot by the Emperor, but love training in full dress uniform. Well, you never know when the shit's gonna go down, do you? It could be when you're in full dress uniform. Or maybe that's just what they wear, for casual. Maybe the full dress uniform's even more elaborate. I won't put it past this film. Anyway, right. So here we go. Activate a fighter. So it's got this big thing that spins round, and they've got machines, but they haven't got thinking machines. So are all these like just mechanical, with no computerized parts? I don't know what it means. There's no thinking. Because obviously they must have computers and for the spaceships and stuff like that. It can't all be just working in a mechanical fashion. There must be electronics and microchips and stuff like that going on. There must be something like that. But anyway, whatever. So they're testing out the new weapon that they've been developing, which is based on sound. So it's a bit silly. I think this wasn't in the book. Did they have it in the Denis Villeneuve Dune? I don't think they did they? This is just in this film, so it's kind of funky, but it has a cool a cool purpose in this film because it makes his name a killing word. We learn later on. Wingris says they've only got vacuum tubes. Yes, it's like that series Kinvig, where the aliens come to Earth. And the ship breaks down, and it's all run on tubes and stuff. So they get Kinvig, who's this fella that fixes TVs to fix their UFO. That were a British comedy series in about 1980 or something like that. Right, anyway, so they're doing this. So to use it, I think you've got to have a thing plugged, that thing there, and you go, like that, and it does a blast because it's weird. So here we go. I'm going to show a demonstration. There we go. Demonstration for you. Right, so I was going to test out this fighting machine. So it's getting him, and he's shooting the things off, and all that stuff. And there's lots of internal monologue, by the way, in this film. Lots of people thinking things, you can hear their thoughts. So that's his mother's influence, he's thinking, and all that stuff. Right, so after his training, he's heading down, and this way we meet Duncan Idaho, played by Richard Jordan, isn't it? Yes, Richard Jordan. He's just come back from Arrakis, or is he just going? I think he's just going to Arrakis, ahead of them. But it's got a cool name, Duncan Idaho. Anyway, so he's heading off to Arrakis ahead of them because he's got to seek out the Fremen, who are the natives of Arrakis. Right, so there's Duke Leto Atreides, played by Jürgen Prochnow, playing a goodie. He played goodies, back in the day, and then as he got older, he started playing baddies a lot for some weird reason, didn't he? But anyway, so they're all getting ready to go, and he's very proud of his son. I've also learned that his mother, Lady Jessica, who is the concubine of Duke Leto Atreides, not his wife, they're never married, and he says that would have regret that he never married her, but she's his concubine. And she were ordered, she's from the Bene Gesserit, she were ordered only to bear him girls. But because of her love for the Duke, she bore him a son. She disobeyed orders and bore him a son, Paul. But she's going to get pregnant tonight in the film with a girl. Anyway, right, so he said, I'm going to miss the sea. That's what he says. Anyway, so... there we see his ducal signet ring, which is important, and right, Paul's in bed and dreaming. He has lots of dreams and visions and stuff like that of water and the second moon, which has the mouse shadow, I think that's supposed to be, which is Muad'Dib. Which again he gets his name. There you see Shani. It is Shani, isn't it? With the blue eyes from the Spice, who becomes his love interest. And there's Lady Jessica, played by the lovely Francesca Annis, who you may know from Krull. She played the widow of the Web in Krull, and she's been in lots of other stuff as well. So the Reverend Mother's come to test, there she is, come to test Paul to see if he is the Kwisatz Haderach, the supreme being, so to speak. Then she's playing pop with her about, you were ordered only to bear girls, but anyway, whatever. So she's going to test him with the Gom Jabbar. So here we go. Going to see if he's human. Obviously he's human, isn't he? But whatever. Right, so his dream. Arrakis, Dune, desert planet, etc. Right. They're talking about him, and he's pretending to be asleep, as she knows. But anyway, he's awake, right? So she says, meet me in my chambers in 15 minutes, young Paul Atreides. So, right, so off he goes. Puts his uniform on again really quick. So she's going to get the box out. Here we go. Oh, she uses the voice on him. Just a minute, we go. Hang on. There we go. She uses the voice on him. It's like a Jedi mind trick sort of thing. Which he masters, obviously, later in the film. Right, here we are, the Gom Jabbar. Actually, this isn't the Gom Jabbar. The Gom Jabbar is she holds a needle to his throat. I can't remember what they call this one. But anyway, whatever. He's got to put his hand in the box. I can't remember what they call this now. Pardon me. Windgrace, what do they call the box? Anyway, whatever. So he's got to put his hand in the box. He says, "What's in the box? Open the box." And she says, "Pain." So he's got to put his hand in. There we go. There's the Gom Jabbar that she's put into his throat. She said there, "Put your hand in the box." There we go. "I hold at your neck the Gom Jabbar." I don't know what the box is called. I'm sure it has got a name. They don't mention it. I'm sure they mention it in the book, but I can't remember. Anyway, so he's going to feel pain, and it's going to feel like the skin of his hand is burning off. But he's got to not succumb to it. There we go, heat upon heat, and it shows us what he thinks is happening to his hand. Does it show us in this? It doesn't think. Oh, there we go. He thinks his hand's burning off like that, but he just goes, "The pain." It does an impression of Dr. Smith from Lost in Space. Here we go. The pain. The pain. It's all very dramatic. But anyway, so he has passed the test. Could he be the Kwisatz Haderach? We will see. There we go. She's thinking to herself now. Could he be the one? But will he be ours to control? Etc. So, there you go. Perhaps you are the Kwisatz Haderach. By the way, cool song by Iron Maiden called "To Tame a Land," which I think is on Peace of Mind. I think it's on the Peace of Mind album, I think. About Dune. And they do say, "He's the Kwisatz Haderach." Anyway. Right, so, she's like giving him her blessing, so to speak. There we go, "My son lives, he's passed the test." And, she says, you've taught him well, Obi-Wan. So anyway, so they're going to head off to Arrakis in a bit. Right, he's doing some paperwork. Is the Duke? Oh, sending a letter to Baron Harkonnen, sorry. Because I've been watching Dune Prophecy and that Denis Villeneuve Dune. I'm thinking Harkonnen now, but it's Harkonnen. It's sending him a letter, because obviously he's taking over his family's taking over from the Harkonnen family, and he's kind of been a bit snarky in his letter, and there's also putting his ducal signature. It's like a seal, on the letter. But he knows his letter will annoy the Baron. So that's good. And then here we are at Gidi Prime. There we go, planet Gidi Prime. It's all very dark and polluted and horrible. Look, it's all industrial and I wouldn't want to live there. Here's Brad Dourif as I forgot his name. I was going to say Peter de Vries, a very Dutch name, but there we go. Mentat, Master of Assassins. Here he is with the letter. Got there quick, didn't it? I'm guessing there's been a passage of time. I'm guessing, it's not like all happening suddenly. But anyway, he's taking the letter to the Baron. And here he's taking some of his spice, doing his little thing he says to himself. "It is by will alone I set my mind in motion." And it says it quickly to himself. Right, so here we go. That's it. Cool model work. And like I say, it's a horrible place. I wouldn't want to live there. Particularly when you see what happens to the people that live there. Why don't they just move to another planet? But obviously they can't. Because space travel is like controlled by the guild. You can't. I don't think you could like buy your own ship, to travel between the stars. You can have your own ships for moving on a planet or within a solar system, I suppose. But between the stars, it's controlled by the guild, isn't it? So it's probably hard, to move from planet to planet. Anyway, so here we go. Here we meet Kenneth Macmillan as Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, having his boils and festering sores. It's disgusting. I mean, Stellan Skarsgård, great actor in the new Dunes. Not a patch on this Baron Harkonnen. He is I forgot his name now already. Cimino. What's his name? Leonardo Cimino. We may know a scary German guy from Monster Squad and other stuff. But like I say, he's lancing his sores and stuff, and he's saying, your skin conditions are disgusting and amazing at the same time. By the way, Kenneth Macmillan, they made this suit for him to wear because the Baron's supposed to be this disgustingly overweight guy, bit like me, who can't walk or anything like that, and he uses repulsor lifts, or whatever they call them in the book, something like that, to float about, and he's even described as a floating fat man. But he couldn't actually walk in the suit that they made him. It was that heavy as well, and stiff, and so he couldn't walk in it, so that wheel him about between takes. Anyway, so here Peter Drees is here. So he's going to get angry in a minute and take it out on somebody. There we go. Answer from Duke Leto. It says he does not wish to meet or speak with you. So he gets cross. He's thrown something in there. Oh, it's the he throws it into this, whatever that is. I don't know, but it goes in there. Big chip pan. I can't remember this character's name, but it appears in it a few times. One time playing a weird, I don't know if it's a musical instrument or what, but I don't know. But anyway, here comes Sting as Fade Routher, the Baron's favourite nephew. I think in the book, it might be in the book, it's suggested that, he might, lust after him, but I think it's in that. Or it might be in this, whatever. And there's the Beast Raban, his other nephew. Right, so getting told about the plan, what's going to happen. There we go. He's going to let the Atreides settle in and then invade, and then he'll have Arrakis back, and then the Beast Raban will go in, and he will rule in the Baron's stead, and he say, I want to squeeze everything out of Arrakis. Anyway, so there we go. They're all being all very happy. Then he's going to start floating now. Whee! Starts floating about. Did a pretty good job of getting rid of the cables and stuff. You can just make them out, but they did a pretty good job. They use really thin wires and stuff. But anyway, there he's floating about, getting all giddy. And there's I don't know what's happening here. It's David Lynch after all, but he goes under this like little shower thing and has all this black goo. What happened there? There we go. Has all this black goo falling on him. Don't know what it is. But then we cut to Caladan. There we go. She says she had a vision that they're going to have a daughter, and it's got to be tonight. So obviously they're going to get down to it. Obviously it doesn't show it, but so a daughter's going to be conceived. I forgot her name. It's not Ilea, because that's Star Trek, isn't it? It's something like that. Hang on. It's Alia. That's it, Alia. We're close, Alia. By Alicia Witt, who is famous, isn't she? She's been in something else, and I can't remember what. As a grown-up. Anyway, so they're getting ready to board their ships that are going to go up to the, whatever they call it, the Spacing Guild carrier, I suppose it is. But here we go. That's a cool matte paintings or forced perspective model shots. So here they go. There we go. I said that's not the best, is it? But fair enough. I mean, these in the foreground look okay, but that just looks like a flat painting, doesn't it? But whatever. They're all heading into the Spacing Guild carrier. There we go. All very ornate and decadent, one might say. But in they go. There we go. Soon they will begin to fold space. So we're going to see. There we go. Here comes the navigator, floating in his. I don't know what's going on here. They're trying to show how they fold space, but I don't think they do a particularly good job because they just show them doing stuff like this. Hang on, are they going to do it? Firing things out of the mouths. If it is his mouth, I don't know. I'm guessing it is. It shows. Is this it's showing Caladan there, and then he's going to do the same for Arrakis. There we go, and then we're going to see Arrakis there, and then I don't know. That's where they're going to go. Whatever. Right, so it just disappears. It disappears from above Caladan. Is it going to show it? Whatever. Disappears from above Caladan and then just appears over Arrakis, which is a bit poo, innit? Could they do better than that? I mean, Star Wars had been out. Could have had a bit of a light show. I mean, they had a little bit of one, didn't they? But, whatever. Anyway, they've arrived at Arrakis, and then we see, with amazing nails, the Reverend Mother of the Fremen. The prophecy is beginning and all that stuff she's saying. Bringing the holy war. She's got a really thick European accent. Hang on, she has. Go on, go back. There we go. Visitor from the outer world. It kind of sounds a bit like, Bela Lugosi sort of voice.
The voice from the outer world, bringing the holy war, the Jihad. Actually,
not Bela Lugosi. She sounds a bit like Delenn, doesn't she, from Babylon 5, a little bit. She even looks a little bit like her, I suppose. I can't see her. She's got a bald head. Anyway, right, so here they are arriving at Arrakeen. Then we've got the ships arriving at Arrakeen, which is the capital of Arrakis, which is, in imperial terms, or the Harkonnens, it's the capital. Obviously not for the natives, the Fremen. They live all over the place. But there we go. A little bit of more exposition telling us about the Fremen. They live out in the desert and in the rocks and stuff like that. There we go. They've got a prophecy that a super being, the fifth element, will come and lead them to a true freedom. It's about Jesus, essentially. It's a Jesus story, isn't it? Anyway, so here are the Atreides army arriving. You can tell they're the goodies because they're not in black. See, they're watching. Oh, look, he's got the Jafar. Windgrace, the Jafar, look, he's got a staff weapon. It's long before Stargate, this. Wow. I'm amazed. He's got his macro binoculars. They're watching. See, through the heat haze, the Duke and Jessica and Paul arriving. And not got the shield up for some reason. There goes. He meets up with Duncan Idaho, who's been there for a while, and he's got his still suit on, and he says he's been out in the desert and he's made contact with the Fremen, or some of them, and he says he thinks they exist in vast numbers, because they thought that the Fremen were just scattered, just a few of them, but he thinks there's vast numbers. I'm guessing it means millions, but anyway. So there we go. So they've got to get ready, because I think he suspects that something's going to happen, but they've got to check for Harkonnen booby traps and stuff like that. But before that, they've got to drill the men again. I'm sure the men have been told about this, about living on Arrakis. It's not been like on Caladan. They've got to, water is life on Arrakis. So There you go. Each trooper will be charged with responsibility for preserving water. Water is life. So, there they're finding more booby traps. And he says, they're finding these too easily. There you go. Sabotage devices. Finding them too easily. But anyway, there we go. They're getting the shield up now around the palace. I don't think it's around the entire city. I think it's just around the palace. Or I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. They're all unpacking and all the floating light fittings. Here's the servants, who I think are all Fremen, or at least some of them are. We meet the housekeeper. He's talking about his wife, and we learn that Harkonnens. She says that they must have killed his wife because he hates the Harkonnens. Does Dr. Yui. And she says they must have killed his wife, but he thinks she's still alive. He thinks the Harkonnens have got her, held hostage. And spoilers, they're making him, do their bidding. He's a traitor, but for reasons. Anyway, so here she is. There she's the housekeeper that Shadat Mapes. All these weird words. Apparently, when this came out of the cinema, I think in America, I don't think they did it over here, but they handed out like glossaries for all the weird terms that are going to come up in the film. But hang on, where are we? Who's this? They found these are Harkonnen agents that have been left behind, and they've killed them, obviously. So Dr. Yu is doing autopsies on them, and we get a look at the heart plug, because all Harkonnens have heart plugs for some reason. And it's found his message in it from the Baron, telling him what he's got to do. Right. He's talking about the harvesters. They've got 930 of them out harvesting spice. I was having another vision. This reminds me of. It's a vision of Sian Phillips with manky teeth, but laughing, and then drips of water. Then the second moon again, and then the Tomorrow People. You remember the Tomorrow People from the 70s? I do. But anyway, the sleeper must awaken, and then he's had a waking dream. He says, he could have just, whatever. But because he was distracted, he didn't hear the Seeker arrive. There it comes, look. A little floating device, a hunter-seeker. There it is. But it's got to be completely still, else it'll find him. As I said, it must all be mechanical, because you see like all this going on. It's all that mechanical. This is from its point of view. I have no idea. But anyway, the housekeeper comes in and distracts it. Here she comes, and he grabs hold of it and smashes it against the there we go, against the wall. And there we go. She said, "You save me." He says, "Who are you?" "I am the housekeeper." But anyway. So, she's in his debt, is the housekeeper. They found more of them there, more of these hunter-seekers. So, anyway. Right. Thufir Howard tenders his resignation because of the attempt on Paul's life, and he says, shut up, don't be so daft. Right, so we're going to meet Max von Sydow next. Is that coming up? He's doing some of his computations. They're having a meeting about it. So they've got to meet there we go, Dr. Kynes, Dr. Liette Kynes, who they gender swapped in the Denis Villeneuve version, didn't they? But whatever. So he's got to go and meet Dr. Kynes now. He's doing one of his poems, his Gurney Halleck. So that's a bit weird. They all giggle at him. But anyway. Right. They see the Shadak Mapes gone to see Jessica. As you can see, oh no, I thought she's showing already. How long have they been there? Anyway, so obviously there she is. She's prostrating towards her. Right, here we are, meeting Dr. Kynes, played by the great Max von Sydow. He's in his still suit. There's Gurney Halleck in his still suit, and the Duke and Paul are coming. And it checks the Duke's still suit and says, oh, you've got to fasten this, that, and the other. But Paul's got his all perfectly done already. He says, oh, somebody's shown you how to do this. And he says, no, it just seemed like the right way to do it. So... there we go. It describes what the still suits are for. Not replenishing water. What's the word? Recycling fluid from the body. Sweat and urine and other stuff, and it goes through filters into catch pockets, which is what all these weird things are. And a working still suit can keep you alive even in the deep desert. So anyway, but Paul put his on, perfectly first time, and he's like another bit of inner monologue. He knows our ways and all that stuff. Right, so they're going to head out in an ornithopter, and obviously they couldn't work out how to do it. Probably, the budget or the the effects that they had at the time. So it's not a flapping thing. In the book, it's a flapping. It's supposed to be like a bird, isn't it? In Denis Villeneuve's, they're more like insects, aren't they? But in the book, like birds, ornithopter, bird thopter. But anyway, but in this, it's just a flying box with crappy little wings. But anyway, so they're going to head out and check out, a harvester. Here they are, coming out through the shield. That's one of the not great effects, but it's fine. Right, heading out over the desert, and they find a harvester, and we get a cameo from David Lynch in a minute. There we go, on the horizon we see the smoke from a harvester. A worm sign. Look, we see worm sign. It's like you see like lightning in the sand, except he's not showing it, is it, for God's sake? He's going to show it. I can see a worm there, but we see proper worm sign later on. Right, I might have seen it already. There we go. Is it this? Oh, never mind. Whatever. So he says, worm signs, good eyes. So he gets in touch with the harvester, and this is where we have, I think, there we go. That's David Lynch, being the harvester pilot or whatever. So it says, got a worm coming towards you. So they've got to wait for the carryall to arrive and, lift the harvester to safety. There's the little vehicles heading back. But the carryall can't get there. More sabotage from the Harkonnens. So he says, right, we've got to get the men off there. And he says, what about the spice? And the Duke says, damn the spice. So he's like, so he's impressed. Is Max von Sydow. He cares more for the men than the spies, because the Harkonnens would have just left the men to their fate. Because but he's the good Duke. Anyway, so they get him out, and then the worm comes. Oh, he can smell the spice on him. There we go, pure unrefined spice. I wonder if he licked his fingers. Anyway, a worm comes. It's going to show us. Here we go. The lift off just in time. And there we go. Here a worm comes underneath the harvester, and it blows up, and it takes it down to the depths, to Davy Jones's sandy locker. Gods, what a monster, he says. Right, so they head back, and Gurney Halleck's playing his whatever it is, doing his. Giving us a guitar solo. Yeah, whatever. So, anyway. So they're all he says, he's not working for the Emperor, he's with the Fremen and all that. Right, so we learn that he's on our side. Is Dr. Kynes. Meanwhile, is this a ship? This is the Harkonnens heading to Arrakis. So the attack is going to begin shortly. They think they're ready for it, but it turns out they're not, because they have a traitor in their midst. Anyway, and here come the bad guys with the Baron there, and Dr. Yui's coming, and I think she knows something. There's the Shadat Mapes, and she pays for it with her life. Oops, pressed the wrong button. Sleep well, my son. So, anyway, the Duke goes down. He hears the Shadat Mapes choking. He finds her body. There she is. So I'm guessing Dr. Yui's done something to her, given her a poison or something. And then he gets hit with a dart. And there you go, fired by Dr. Yui. It's destroyed the new army's weirding modules. That's what they call them guns with sound. Weirding modules, because it's called the Weirding Way. And but he's he's behind it. He's the traitor, but he's doing it for his wife. He thinks the Baron is gonna give him his wife back, and he's got to deliver the Duke alive to the Baron. But he still wants. He's got his own plan. Wheels within wheels. He takes out one of Duke Leto's teeth and replaces it, with a poison tooth. And he says when the Baron gets close enough, let's say, so he can gloat, bite down on the tooth and breathe on him, and it'll kill both of you. So that's it'll be a Pyrrhic victory, I suppose you could say. But anyway, there you go. That's what he's doing there. Here comes the bad guys in their black ships. But there's that same shot as before, isn't it? But never mind. There's the weirding modules aflame with dead guards. So here we go. The bomb scopes are set. And I don't think there's something go wrong with the shield. Is the shield not working? There's explosions and stuff. Yes, the shield's not up, look. And they're starting doing the bombing. So it's all going wrong. And here come the Sardaukar in their weird outfits. Firing their phasers. I don't know what they're firing. But it's all blowing up and stuff. It's all cool. Paul's sleeping through it all, apparently. Must be well soundproofed. But here comes the Baron. There you go. He's caught the Lady Jessica, and he's gagged her so she can't use the voice on him. Maybe Paul was drugged. I don't know, but here we are. They've got the Duke there, and they're checking him. And has he killed him yet? No, not yet. He's checking him for stuff like he did with the Duke. But obviously he hasn't checked it. He must be drugged, must Paul, because he's unconscious, isn't he? So he says, take him out into the desert. Let the desert kill them and all that stuff. That's what he says. There you go. What are your orders? And he says, there you go. Take them to the desert, as the traitor suggested. Dr. Yui suggested that. But I said, wheels within wheels. He's got his own, plans. Meanwhile, the battle rages outside. Eddie's been disgusting. Here comes Duncan Idaho. He's going to have an ignominious fate now. So he's going to take out a couple of Sardaukar. There we go, stabs him. Then he puts his shield on. There we go, runs at him. Here he goes. And but this one fires that gun at him. And it's obviously got a bullet that just stops at the shield and then turns into drills through it and just, boom, there we go, in the head. Dead. Duncan! Oh, he's come round now. So, the end of Duncan, Idaho. He was barely in the film, was he? There we go. Quite dead. Kind of gruesome, but whatever. Let's make sure we're still going. Yes, we're fine. We're fine. And we're fine. Right, back to the film. So that's the end of Duncan, Idaho, and his cool name. He got better, says Wingrace. I'm sure he did. There we go, dumping bodies. Anyway, so the victory is, it's a rout. They've destroyed the Atreides, and he's coming and saying, take me to my wife, or whatever. You said you would free her. And he goes, she lives. And he says, you will join her. And he kills, kills Dr. Yui. Anyway, so they're taking in this ship. They're taking them out to the desert. Paul and Jessica, there they are, with the pilots. I think they're the pilots that we saw earlier. Anyway, there we go. Yui's sign. He's got his sign there, so she knows that he's I don't know, he's done something. There we go, another sign there. So anyway. Paul's trying the voice to make the guards do what he tells them to do. But they're not listening, so he tries again. He says, remove her gag. So he does. So she uses the voice on them and gets them to kill each other in a minute. After he cuts his son's bonds and says, no need to fight over us. And they kill each other. And then Paul flies the ship. And for some reason, not very well. So they're bringing in the Duke for the Baron to gloat over, and so he's gonna. But because he's drugged and he's all, he can't see properly or whatever. It thinks it's the Duke standing over it, not the Duke, the Baron standing over him, and there we go. Because he wants to say something to him. But it's Peter de Vries, and he sprays the poison onto him. So Peter de Vries dies, and the Duke dies. I think his face all melts, in a minute, a bit, or at the side. I think we see all smoke coming out the side of his face. He's like, Leto, he's dead, because the Force. She sensed a great disturbance in the Force. But the Baron's happy. Said, I'm alive. Yes, you're alive. Hey! So he's happy, I'm alive. Because he's mental. Anyway. So they've got to get to a rocky outcrop. Because for some reason, I don't know, the ship's not flying very well. So they crash near this outcrop. And get to it before a worm arrives. There's looking at the moons. Oh, look, there's a hand. There's a hand on that moon. Just like in Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. That's got a hand. And in the moon was my paw. And all that, doesn't it? But anyway. There you go, the second moon. He's having another one of his visions. His sister. His Mortimer people hand. Right. So he knows all about the spice, it's a poison and all that stuff, but, it's amazing. He takes the ducal signet ring. They've caught Dr. Kynes, and they're ripping off his still suit, and they dump him in the desert as well, and he actually dies, apparently. What's happened to Gurney Halleck? We find out later, but they capture Thufir Hawat, and they make him work for the Harkonnens. They've got still suits, because Dr. Yui left still suits in the shuttle thing, so they've put them on, and she's astonishingly lovely, isn't she? Or she was back then. I'm sure she still is now, but is Francesca Annis. Right, so they're heading for the to get across this sand to get to that rock. So they've got to walk in an uneven way, because rhythmic thuds, rhythmic noises attract worms, so they have to walk in an unrhythmic manner. Oh, he's got a thumper with him as well, just in case. There's a worm coming. Oh, it's deafening. So this worm's coming after him now. Here it comes. And they get into the rocks just in time, and the worm's trying to bash its way in to get them, because it must be hungry. Anyway, and then they hear a thumper. He falls. Then they hear a thumper in the distance, and it distracts the worm, and off it goes. There you go. It's heard another thumper. So then they meet the Fremen. The Fremen arrive. There we go. Here's Stilgar, played by what's his face, Everett McGill, with his amazing voice. You are Muad'Dib. How he says it. So they get befriended, but not before Paul has got to have a fight with one of them. They're going to hold them hostage or whatever, and she says, "No, I could kill him because I'm a Bene Gesserit and all that stuff." There's Sean Young as Charney, daughter of Liet Kynes, who we just learned is dead. Anyway. Right. It's going to have to fight. There we go. Jamis, this fella, says, "I want to fight you for some reason." Don't know why. Here he is. I don't know why he doesn't like him, but it's invoked the Amtal rule. He wants to fight him to the death. To the death! Don't know why, but he just does. So they're going to fight. And Paul's like, hang on. But tough, you've got to do it. So they're going to fight. So Paul kills Jamis. And there we go. And it says, "Now you shall be called Usul, which is the strength of the base of the pillar. That's his name among this troop. But you have a name. You must have a name. I can just call me Paul, but you must have a name for use everywhere else." And he says, "What's the name of the shadow, the mouse shadow in the second moon?" And that's where he says. I just love the way he says it.
We call that one Muad'Dib.
Muad'Dib. Oh dear. There we go. Oh, too far.
You are Paul Muad'Dib.
Paul Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib. Anyway, whatever. Right, so we are now part of the tribe. Oh, lovely. There's the Fremen's Reverend Mother. She's doing her Delen stuff again, which will cleanse the universe. Right, so they're putting Jamis into. They're gonna put him in this. I guess it's a big press or something, because they're gonna get all of his fluids out of him. Because they can't waste water, obviously. Even though they've got a bucket load of water, we find out. But not more than a bucket load, lakes of the stuff. But they put him in here, and we learn this is his wife. He's got a wife and kids, and I think essentially they kind of belong to Paul now. I think I'm not exactly sure, but it's kind of suggested. But all of Jamis's property is now Paul's, and they seem to accept that. There's no suggestion that there's going to be. Revenge or anything, but anyway, are they K's on? Are they on Ocampa? Are they on Ocampa? Because it just seems just that area where a camper is. It's just that area that's just short on water, isn't it? But they seem fine everywhere else, don't they? Just go somewhere else then. But anyway, that's Star Trek. Right, so they get his water out of him. Here we go, and he says, it is now, this water is now Paul Muad'Dib. So do you accept it? Yes, right. So we're going to head to their base, and there we go. They've got lakes of water, look. Wind traps, they call them. So, they've got lots of water. So when we have enough water, we will transform Arrakis. And then we see from his visions, and then she asks him, "Tell me of your homeworld, Usul." And he dreamt about that, and so he's like, "Oh wow, I dreamt that. That's cool." killed by the Harkonnens. Oh, am I saying this? We have that in common. Both our fathers were killed by the Harkonnens. I don't know if she's the daughter of Liette Kynes in the book or in the Denis Villeneuve film. I don't know. I can't remember. Right. Meanwhile, back in Arrakeen. Now, here he is playing his weird... I have no idea what's going on here. He's like going... This thing, and he's just flying about like a loony. Because he's victorious. Beast Raban comes in. They've got like a cow or something hung up, and he just rips a piece off the cow to eat. Because they're disgusting. I've no idea what's going on. It's weird. And then he goes telling him, squeeze the life out of the planet and all that stuff. That's what he's telling him. As he's eating his piece of cow. Here comes Sting as Fade Routher again, and he was supposed to be completely nude for this scene. The script called for him to be completely nude, and Sting said, fine, I'll be nude. But the producers, well, the studio, not the producers, the studios said, no, can't have him being completely nude. Stick something on him to cover up his manhood. So they made this at the very last minute. So, but anyway, there he is. Lovely Fade Routher. Anyway, right. So they're heading out. I think going to they're heading to the wherever the Reverend Mother is. Ding 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 ding. So it just reminds me of Spaceballs. Don't have a cow, man. Yeah, well, he did. He had a big chunk of a cow, didn't he? It's always the studio. That's Phil Collins, isn't it? Right. And apparently she's dying, is their Reverend Mother. Suddenly. So Lady Jessica's got to drink the water of life, which is, I don't know, it's supposed to be bile or something from a newborn worm or something like that, or from the, I don't know, whatever. Shai Hulud is what they call the worm. Does it say? Hang on. No, it doesn't say. It'll probably say in a minute. Whatever. So she drinks the water of life, and it can kill you. Close enough to make the joke, yes. I hate Phil Collins. I do. Not as a person, just I don't like his music. Anyway, so she's drunk, so it's like a poison, and all. Like I said earlier on, and it also affects Alia, her unborn daughter, and it makes her. Drinking that makes her become prematurely born, and she accelerates her aging, and she's born with all the knowledge of a Reverend Mother, and then she dies, whatever she's called. I'm sure she's got a name. Hang on, let's have a look. Who am I looking for? Where is she? I know her name. Ramallo, Reverend Mother Ramallo. That's what she's. Sylvana Mangano plays her. Anyway, she's dead now, so there we go. In the film, not in real life. Maybe she's in real life, I don't know, but whatever. His thoughts in his head, am I the one? Yes, you are. There we go. The tremendous power of the water of life caused the premature birth of Jessica's daughter, Alia. By the way, I think we're listening to the man voiceover.
The water of life caused the premature birth of Jessica's daughter, Alia.
I've no idea who it is. I think it's it's Virginia Madsen who does the voiceovers and stuff in the theatrical version, I think. Anyway. There we go, born with all the knowledge of powers of a Reverend Mother, looking all freaky. Meanwhile, on Gidi Prime, is he back? Yes, he's back on Gidi Prime. Is the Baron, and is he with Thufir Hawat? There we go. They captured him, as I said, and they've fitted him with his heart plug. Why? I don't know. Is Is it just for the Baron's, satisfaction? I don't know, but I wouldn't want to live here. It's horrible. Anyway, they've introduced a poison into his system. I think this is just pure David Lynch. I don't think this is in the book. They've introduced a poison into his system. He's got to milk this cat every day for the. There we go. Milk this cat for the antidote. Why they've taped a rat to it as well, I don't know, but it's mental, isn't it? So you've got to do that to survive. So he's like, seems resigned to. Don't know why, he thought he'd killed himself, but he hadn't done. Right, they're falling in love. Look, I've always loved you. There we go, giving it all the beans, so to speak. Right, so he's going to introduce himself to the rest of the clan. I am Usul Paul Muad'Dib, not Paul Muad'Dib. And he's going to teach them the weirding way. And they're going to take the battle, they're going to take the fight to the Harkonnens and the Emperor. And they're going to stop producing spice. And they're going to make them come to us. Anyway, he's going to show him the weirding module. And he says, this stone is the hardest stone, He says, hit it, kick it, yell at it. So they're all laughing. He goes, break. So he's going to show him, burn it. There we go. So obviously they can't do anything with it, but he can with his weirding module. And he shows that, there we go, boy, just blows it up. Some thoughts have a certain sound, and some sounds, have a resonance or whatever. There we go. They're equivalent to a form. So basically, you can use it as a weapon. That's what it is. And then somebody says Muad'Dib, something like that. There we go. It says Muad'Dib, and they go Muad'Dib, and it sets off. It sets off the weapon, the weirding module. Your name is a killing word. Right, so going to teach them the weirding way. But now he's got to go and ride a worm. He's got to learn. There we go. Become a sand rider. So he's got to use a thumper to attract a worm and clamber aboard it and ride the bugger. So that's what he's going to do. Here it comes. It's a big un. They say it's a big one, of the biggest they've seen. So here he goes. Right. So what he's got to do, he's got I don't know what the hell it is, a pickaxe or whatever. I don't know what the hell it is. Got that, and he's got to wedge it into the ridges or whatever they're called, scales, whatever, plates, and he's got to open it up, and if he does that, the worm will be forced to turn over to stop sand getting in. So that's what they do. So then keep that until they can stay on top of it. It'll try, and if they didn't do that, it'll just turn with the worm and bury him in sand. So anyway, so off he goes. Anyway, right. So he's gonna hook onto it, and now he's riding the worm. There he is. Yeehaw! Ride him, cowboy. So there we go. And Stilgar's here now. He's having a ride as well. Dun, 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 dun. Very good. Cool. Right. So they're getting ready. Look. There is guard, because they've got red shoulders that they're painting on them. So they're going to begin now their war against the Harkonnens, destroying, the harvesters. That's what we're going to say. Destroy harvesters, all blowing up and stuff. And this is where he finds Gurney Halleck, I think. Is it this bit? No, it's not this bit. But they're taking on the troops, and they're beating them. There we go. The Baron and the Emperor himself be forced to deal with us. That's what he's wanting them to come to him. Obviously, the Beast Rabban is it's not working out well for him, because the Fremen, are super powerful and all that stuff. Muad'Dib, look, he's becoming a legend. Is Paul? He's becoming a legend on Arrakis. Right, so destroying another one. There we go. But in this time, there we go. She's matured at a frightening rate, so she's growing up quickly. I don't know how much time has passed. I don't know. But they're becoming more in love. and it turns out they find these other people that are fighting the Harkonnens, like rebels or something like that. And there you go. And he comes across Gurney Halleck. He was fighting some Harkonnens, but there's other people as well that are also fighting the Harkonnens. There we go. And he just comes across Gurney Halleck, who had joined these rebels. And this bit of the film, another bit of trivia, to get for all this smoke, the only way you could get that amount of black smoke is to burn tyres, which you can do in Mexico, or you could at that time. So just burning all these tyres, and there's all this toxic smoke in the air. They were breathing it in, and he says he lost his voice. Carl McLachlan said his voice just stopped working because he just breathed in all this smoke, and he couldn't say his lines or anything. So I wonder if he just mouthed it. I don't know. They ADR'd it later, but anyway. So he's found Gurney, so they embrace, and there we go. You young pup, make it so. So he's with them now. So cool, a nice reunion. Excuse me. Right, what's happening now? The mystery of mysteries. Is this the water showing how the water of life is made? There with a young worm. I'm sure it describes it. There we go. They get the young worm out and do something. What do they do? Are they cutting it up? Oh, are they cutting it up? And they're getting the water of life out of it. Newborn worms, look. And Paul's going to have to drink that later. I don't know if it'll be pasteurised or anything. I don't know. But meanwhile, this is Kaitan, isn't it? This is the Emperor's abode. And here he is. Not the navigator. The navigator hasn't come, but his assistants have. And they're telling him that things are afoot on Arrakis. You've got to deal with it. So bring it under control. There we see. He's looking a bit. So is he going to end up? This is what we were on about earlier on. Is he going to end up looking like the navigator we saw at the beginning, floating in his spice tank? Is he going to end up like that? I don't know. Or is he just like that because it's David Lynch? What's he got in his mouth? Don't know. But anyway. So they're saying, this. They think it's just a Fremen called Muad'Dib. They think it's just a local rebel or whatever that's causing trouble. They don't know it's Paul Atreides. Because remember, they think he's dead. They think Paul Atreides is dead and his mother. But the Harkonnens cannot stop him. So you've got to deal with it, or we'll deal with you, essentially. So he says, right, fair enough. Better had then. We're going to wipe out all life on Arrakis. He has another waking dream. Is it this one? Or maybe he's just seen that. I was having a vision of the moon cracking like an egg. But right. Oh, yes, he can't see the visions of his future now like he could before. So he's got to drink the water of life. So they're going to go out into the middle of the desert for some weird reason. And he's going to drink it down. Here we go. And she says, I will love you forever. So off he goes as he drinks the water of life and he sees the worms and he passes the test just like he did with the Gom Jabbar. And all the worms come look and prostrate themselves to Muad'Dib and he's bleeding out of his eyes and stuff. And then he's seeing this is like what we saw in the ship, wasn't it, when the navigator was folding space. So he's seeing that as well. So can Paul Muad'Dib fold space if he goes into I don't know. But anyway, that's what we're seeing there, isn't it? That sort of stuff. They used that effect, didn't they? So there you go, and he's seeing those. And he does his... Anyway, he comes to, and we see all the worms just there, not attacking or anything. They're just there. They are now tame worms, domesticated, I suppose you could say. Oh, and he shouts, "The sleep, father! The sleeper has awakened!" And he's got blue eyes now, have you noticed? Right. So here he is. Says, right, we're gonna fight back now. We're ready. There we go. All the carriers have arrived. This is the Emperor's golden ship. But you know, all the Landsrad and all that have arrived as well. So they're gonna, you know, he wants to wipe out all life on Arrakis. Don't know why I don't do it from orbit, but it goes down. And what Paul's gonna do? Pardon me. He's got some atomics. He ain't got nukes. He's got atomics, and they're going to use them on the shield wall because Arrakeen is protected from the deep desert by a rocky outcrop called the shield wall, and he's going to blow a hole in that, so all the sand and the storms and all stuff like that will come through, so they can get through as well with the sandworms and all that stuff. So that's what they're going to do. Here we are. All the Fremen, look, getting ready. Right, they're heading to the palace, so it's all coming to a head. Here's the Fremen. Look, lots of them. And on the making of, Rafaela De Laurentiis was saying that they had these scenes. I said, it was filmed in Mexico. And said we had these scenes where we had like 2,000 extras, all in still suits. They made thousands of these still suits, these extras. And they were all there on the sand, waiting, to be directed, waiting for filming. And she said, but David Lynch were busy just filming Paul's eyes and stuff like that. And she says, David, you can do that in the studio. We've got all these people here waiting. Just film them, do the shots with all these, and then we can send them away. You can go to the studio and then do Paul's eyes. But he said David just did what he wanted to do. So anyway. Right, so here they are. There we go. They've got all the thumpers in to attract the worms, and they're getting ready to set off the atomics. The Emperor's arrived. Just said camera off. Is my camera still on? Hello, yes I am. Just him says, I'm sure they don't want to bombard the ground and risk hurting the worms. I'm sure, yes, probably. But how else are they going to kill everybody? Because he wanted to kill them all, didn't he? The Emperor said it was going to be genocide. But anyway, whatever. Right, the storm hits. Set off the atomics. Atomic. Here come the worms, look. Here they come. Look, and all the little people running up to them, climbing up. Right. Bring me the floating fat man. As you can see, here comes... there he is. And you can see he's chopped off the beast Rabban's head. And there he is. Because he failed him. Anyway, so... Obviously, says we captured, we killed lots of Fremen, and one of them we captured, and it turns out it was Aliyah. They captured her, and I don't know who's doing the voice. Does it say on IMDb? I don't think it's not Alicia Witt's voice. Let's have a look. Aliyah voice. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. I don't know who did the voice, because I don't think it'll be Alicia, because it's not a little girl's voice that we're hearing. Because she's kind of got this freaky, scary voice. I'll play it. Oh, I've pressed the wrong bloody button. Sorry. Where are we? Hang on. I'm hopeless.
Very pleased with you.
But she uses the voice. Speaking of the voice, she uses it on him, I think. She uses it on her. Anyway, so she say, my brother's coming and you're all going to die, whatever. Right, set off the atomics soon. You can tell they're setting off because they've got the radiation-proof suits on, look. Right, here we go. You're ready. Here comes the storm. And there goes the atomics. Atomic. Do. So they've blown a hole in the shield wall. Here comes all the sand. gushing through, because I'm sure it had all built up on the other side. Here it comes, so they can ride the worms through. Here they come, come all the worms with Fremen aboard. I think they look cool, by the way, the worms. I think they're really good. Right, so off they go. I think she uses the voice on... oh, no, she doesn't. It's in her head, isn't it? She's thinking that in her head. Wait for my brother, Baron. For some reason he does. He hangs about. The Emperor and his generals or whatever head up to these things and start, I don't know, like a periscope thing, and they're firing guns and stuff. And all the Sardaukar headed out to fend off the invaders or the attackers. There we go. Pew, 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 pew. Cool stuff. Pew, pew, pews. Obviously, they're no match for the Fremen. The Fremen have got, regular guns. They've also got I think that's a big version, isn't it, of a weirding module, because it just blows that ship up. Anyway, so they're losing big time. Here we go. There she's saying, "Wait for my brother," and somebody's just hanging about, is the Baron. And so they're all fighting away. Now, she don't want him to wait for the brother. She says, "Come to me, Baron," and she pulls. He's got heart plugs as well, for some reason. And then he goes flying out the window. Hang on, have I missed it? He goes flying out the window in a minute. That might be a bit later. Here he goes. He goes out the window. There we go. Into the mouth of a worm. There we go. And it swallows him. And if this were George Lucas, the worm would have gone, bleh, wouldn't it? Like the thingamabot, like the Sarlacc did with Boba Fett. Anyway, so they're battling away. Anyway, the battle is won pretty quickly. The Fremen obviously outnumber. Let me look at them all. They obviously outnumber the Sardaukar, and they soon win. They take the capital. I imagine this is what it's like in Syria right now. Maybe. Don't want to make light of it, but anyway. So here they are. All the Fremen. They've taken control. They are in the palace or whatever it is. And he's saying, there goes there are. The houses of the Landsraad are in orbit in or whatever. Send them away. And says, "Don't you tell me what to do." He says, "I bloody well will, because I am Muad'Dib." And he's the he's saying that, "Don't you dare speak to me like that." And the guild navigator basically shut him up. "Stop your speaking." So, and then he uses the voice on the Reverend Mother to shut her up. "I can kill with a word, but stings having nothing of it." And he wants to kill him, so he's going to fight him. There was a Harkonnen among you. So Gurney Halleck, he wants to fight. "Let me fight, because I'm from Murfield in Yorkshire. Make it so." But I wish it. But he doesn't, because he's got to fight Paul. So they're going to fight now. I see Thufir Howard's still knocking about. Is he still milking his cat? He must be, because he's got to do it every day, apparently. Hopefully Paul gives him the cure, I don't know, of the poison. And he's redeemed. Anyway, so they're going to fight. There we go. He's all hamming it up, his sting, as Fade Routher. And bouncing about for some reason. He was jumping about like a loony. In a minute. Hang on, is it this bit? He does this weird little jump. It might have been earlier. See if I can find it. I don't know. I just find it amusing. Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes. Boing, boing. I don't know why he does that. Oh dear. Anyway, we see he's got another blade. Look, I think it's supposed to be a poison blade on his in his suit. But Paul has got to bend like a reed. I think that was in his training at the beginning of the film. So I will bend like a reed, and then so he does that, and he rolls over Fade Routher and shoves his blade up through his jaw, and then we see it's gone up through his, and now he's dead. And then just for good measure, There we go. He uses his killing word. And does all that stuff. Just to make sure, they're all going, Muad'Dib. Where's Stilgar? Oh, it's there. Where's Stilgar? But there he is. He's saying Muad'Dib. Anyway, Usul no longer needs the weirding module because he's Jesus, basically, isn't he? He's Jesus because he's the Dune Messiah, isn't he? And there we go. Muad'Dib become the hand of God, fulfilling the Fremen prophecy, and then he makes it rain now, as they're all standing there. In the Denis Villeneuve version, which is probably, I think this is what happens in the book, isn't it? But I can't remember. It's that long since I've read it. He says, I'm going to marry Princess Irulan. They're going to do it like they used to in the olden days. They're going to, he's going to marry her so that their houses will be joined and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. But he'll still have Chani as his concubine, his true love. But they don't in this. They don't bother with that. He just makes it rain instead. Here comes the clouds, and for some reason all the spotlights are coming on. But then it's starting to rain. Look, and probably all the Fremen are thinking, "What the bloody hell's happening?" Because they've never seen it rain, have they? Then why is water falling out of the sky? And then we hear the last words of of the film. Aaliyah just saying to us.
And how can this be? For he is the Kwisatz Haderach.
For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Bless her heart. I think he's more the Islamic Messiah. Well, yeah. As this has more of an Islam feel to it. Yes, it does. Especially the new version, but yes, it does. Yes, the Islamic Messiah. Whatever that is. Mahdi? Is it Mahdi or something like that, isn't it? Anyway. And there we go. And that's the end. It's raining on Arrakis. There we go. And then it cuts to the sea. So I guess there's going to be oceans on Arrakis any minute now. But then we go to the... and that's it. We'll just see the cast. And then the credits. So there we go. I don't think there's anything at the end. I don't think there's an end credit scene. No, there ain't. So there we go. Amazing film. I love Dune, 1984. And I like this extended version. To be honest, I can't remember what difference there is with the theatrical version. I've forgotten. It's that long since I've watched the theatrical version, which I think is on this, but I've not watched this film yet. I watched the special features and stuff, but I haven't watched the film yet. But anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Dune 1984. I think in the book, I'm sure he makes it rain in the book as well, doesn't it? It didn't in the Denis Villeneuve version. It didn't make it rain in that. Hang on. There we go. He didn't make it rain in that for some reason, but I'm sure he did in the book because in the other films, pardon me, in the other books, he makes Arrakis verdant and lush, doesn't he? And the sandworms start dying, so the spice starts running out, doesn't it? Anyway, but that's not before, like I said, the jihad begins, and the Freemen go rampaging across the galaxy, don't they? Like murdering billions and trillions of people. But that's by the by. So anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Dune 1984. Really, really, really enjoyable film, even though it's a bit weird in places. And a bit gross in places, particularly on Gidi Prime. I would hate to live there. It's a terrifying planet. I think it is anyway. Because they sew up people's eyes and ears, and it's horrible. I didn't land on one when I was looking to see if I can find one, but I can't find one. It shows like the sewing up. The Gidi Prime people have just got sewed up. Eyes and ears. I probably won't land on one because I can't remember when it was. Oh, here we go. This there'll be somebody in here that's been sewn up. It might be earlier on. Whatever. Anyway, never mind. Right, we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. Go out and watch Dune 1984. Never mind the Denis Villeneuve version. Never mind the Sci-Fi Channel series. There's two of them, actually, isn't there? There's two series. There's Dune and Children of Dune, isn't there? And I've not seen either of them. I've heard they're really good, but I've not seen either of them. Watch this one. It's really good. I really like it. Right. We'll leave it there. It's cool. Right, what's coming up? Both are good, says Josh Temple. As I've not seen them. So, and I don't know how to see them. Are they on streaming anywhere? I don't know. But anyway, right. All are good. This is best. Yes, I like the Denis Villeneuve ones, but I like this more. Right. What's coming up next? On Friday. Here it is. On Friday for Appointment with Fear this week, it's Friday the 13th, so we're doing Friday the 13th part 2, because we did part 1 on the last Friday the 13th, so we're doing part 2 this week. On Wednesday, I'll have me season 2 of Star Trek The Next Generation, which I still haven't finished watching. We'll have to get round to it. So we've got season 2 of that in my, I review every episode of Star Trek. So we're up to season 2 of TNG. Next Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, we're doing Star Trek The Motion Picture, the director's edition, or director's cut, whatever you want to call it. I saw this in the cinema back in 1979, not the director's edition, the theatrical version. And I thought it were really, really boring. But I've grown to love it as I've got older. It's a film that has aged really well, in my opinion. But that's next week. Right. And I'll also be back on Christmas Day. I've just set that up. Doing a Bond film. A Magnificent Monday special on Christmas Day. Or Christmas night for me. With Dr. No. So, there we go. That'll be cool. Right, we'll leave it there. So thanks Josh Temple and Win Grace for keeping me company while I waffle on about June 1984. Again, don't forget to, hang on, get it back up. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment and all that stuff. And drop us super thanks and all that jazz. And explore the description for the various links for merch and other stuff, Patreon, etc. Right, we'll leave it there. So, hang on, where are we? So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there.